Donald Trump's approval rating on how he has responded to the pandemic is not good. In fact, he has reached a new low according to a new Reuters Ipsos poll. Only 37% of Americans approve of the way Trump has responded to the health crisis, the lowest percentage since the poll began asking the question in early March. Of those surveyed, 58% of Americans responded that they disapproved of how Trump has reacted to the pandemic. If everyone's paying attention to what's happening to the country right now, I argue that number should be much higher. But still, the majority of Americans are unhappy with how he's handled coronavirus. Just 43% of GOP voters said they thought the country was headed in the right direction, the lowest recorded level since Trump took office in January of 2017. Now, one of the issues with how Trump has handled coronavirus, and believe me, there have been many issues, has been the confusion and the chaos after he admitted during his Tulsa rally that he wanted to slow coronavirus testing down because, of course, that would suppress the numbers and make it appear as though we're defeating coronavirus when in reality we're not. And so if you don't believe that Trump wanted to slow down coronavirus testing, we have some more evidence that he does in fact want to do it, has wanted to do it. He's actually, as coronavirus cases are spiking in the country, defunding community testing efforts. So according to The Hill, Trump's administration is ending its support for 13 coronavirus testing sites across the country at the end of the month, including 7 in Texas, as COVID-19 cases continue to spike in a number of areas nationwide. We now have dozens of states that have seen a spike in coronavirus cases. Let me give you some statistics that are pretty terrifying. 4 of the 7, by the way, Texas sites in jeopardy are in Houston and Harris County, which public experts say could become the area worst hit by coronavirus. Now, Texas's case count has been rising since Memorial Day, with the state breaking records for its daily new case count on Monday and Tuesday, with 4,760 new cases and 5,080 new cases respectively. So the numbers are just devastating. We're seeing it all across the country right now. The number of new cases nationally, for instance, is above 30 per day, and that was over the weekend after having leveled off at 20,000 per day for a week. So we're now at 30,000 per day. Earlier, when we were flattening the curve, we would get about 20,000 roughly new cases a day.
Sorry, I'm a little bit confused. I'm trying to square a couple things that you said. So he's shutting down the testing places, and you said that the numbers are too high. The numbers are gonna go down once we stop testing people. I don't understand, what exactly is it that you want? He's dealing with your problem. Okay, anyway.
So many people have already died. And so many more people will needlessly die. I was just watching a report about ICUs completely at capacity with not just coronavirus cases, to be fair, because remember, hospitals started accepting elective surgeries, they started booking them again. And so they're taking care of other patients as well. But now with the spike in coronavirus cases, hospitals are overwhelmed. And this is such a disaster. As someone who experienced what it was like having my mom in the hospital during this pandemic, not because of coronavirus, but because of some other health issue, it's terrifying. You're not allowed to even step foot in the hospital. You're not allowed to be there with your loved one. For the first several days, we had very minimal communication with her. This is absolute devastation for so many people, and we've already lost nearly 122,000 Americans.
Yeah. So and let's just quickly reference. You said that the 37% who support the way that he responded to it, they didn't even read the question. They certainly didn't think about it. They'd support anything that he does or doesn't do or whatever. It doesn't matter. They like him. That's what they like. It was so much worse than it needed to be. The bar that they had for him was buried deep underground. It's sort of meaningless. A third of the country doesn't think critically about literally anything that happens. But yeah, in terms of when he did the, I want them to slow down the testing thing, and like we talked about it, that's the sort of thing where I don't know if you experienced it, Anna, but I'm sure you've experienced it for things like this, you get attacked saying, why are you focusing on the things that he says? He just says stuff. Yeah, and then he changes federal policy to actually slow down the testing. That's why we pay attention to it, because he's the president and he has the power of life and death for thousands and thousands of people. And so when he jokes that he's gonna slow down the testing, and then 48 hours later starts slowing down the testing, maybe it's something that we should be focusing on as a country. And I don't know what other ways he can do it, but this is a pretty effective one. Texas looks bad. He doesn't want Texas to flip in the election, okay? And so he certainly doesn't want people there being worried about coronavirus. So just completely hinder the testing and make it so that people don't know how bad it is. Maybe soon, like Florida, they won't report hospitalization rates, and then we don't have to be worried about that either. And maybe they'll start classifying some of the deaths as just a massive, unexplainable spike in influenza deaths, and then we don't have to worry about the deaths either. Pandemics are hard to solve, but it's a little bit easier to just pretend that it's not happening, and that is the strategy that he and the GOP are pursuing.
Yeah, you're right. And there are big consequences to that. And there's no winning with Trump. There's no redeeming quality overall, but there certainly is none when it comes to his response to coronavirus. I mean, he's discouraged people from wearing masks. He thinks that people wear masks to make him look bad, according to a statement that he gave to the Wall Street Journal. I keep bringing that up because it's just so part and parcel of who he is as a person. It's always about him. He's so narcissistic and sociopathic, and we're losing so many innocent lives as a result of his actions, and he just doesn't care.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR, so those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.